All right, so you have gotten your offer accepted. So now what? What happens after that? So I'm Rami Dhillon. I'm a real estate agent with Realty ONE Group Southwest in Temecula, California, and this is
Alfred Ramirez from Impulse Capital Partners.
so today we're going to talk about what do you do after you get an offer accepted. What you do is you open escrow.
What's escrow,
What the
Rami?
heck is escrow?
Yeah.
So I mean, and now this is in the state of California. Other states don't have escrow companies.
Some have attorneys.
So they use attorneys instead of escrow companies. So what is an escrow? An escrow is a neutral, unbiased third party that handles the money that's involved in the transaction, the deposit, the down payment, and also they assure that the terms that are written in the contract are followed.
Correct.
And anything else I missed?
Well, I mean, no, you
Yeah,
got it all. So
that's
you're
pretty
telling
accurate.
me
Yeah.
when you write up a contract for me, I don't give my buyers my down payment. I don't give my sellers, I don't give them the down payment, and I don't give them my earnest money deposit.
You mean if you're the buyer?
If I'm
If
the
you're the
buyer,
buyer, no, you don't want to do
I
that.
don't write them a check
You don't
directly.
say, "Hello, Mr. Seller, here's the check." No. So now that he brought up a very good point. That's the whole purpose of an escrow company. So essentially, if you were just write the check
You got no protection.
you got no protection at all because at this point we don't even know if that seller has legal title to that house.
Yeah.
And that's part of what the escrow company is going to do, and the title company are going to do.
Correct.
And so the escrow company protects you in that respect. They handle the money, they handle all the paperwork that's involved, they prepare the grant deed, and they make sure that all the terms of the contract are followed. So very good point that Alfred made is an escrow company required? Is an attorney required, like in other states?
In other states, I would say yes, it is required because it's for everybody's protection. It's for your protection. It's for the seller's protection. It's for the realtor's protection. For the loan officer's protection. Protects everybody and makes sure everybody gets paid.
So you're right. But the question was, is it required? And it is not required.
It's not yet.
Like legally. Like is it
legally
legally
required.
You gotta have an escrow company.
You
And
can do it all on your own
right,
if
you
you
can
want.
do it on.
Yeah.
But very foolish thing to do.
Yeah.
So like if Alfred was the seller and I'm the buyer and he and I just decide, hey, you know what?
You do a quick claim deed, we're done and
Yeah,
over with.
yeah.
That's it. Here's your money. And
Right. Alfred, will you sell me your house?
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'm like, yeah, well, Alfred, here's $500,000, and he
I'll
takes
take
it.
the check, and here's a quick claim deed, and then I
Right.
go cash a check, and it bounces.
That's right. So and
Now I know. Now I have to go find Rami.
right. We don't even know if he owns that house.
Yeah.
So that's where that's where a title company is involved. So the escrow company and title company can be one and the same. Okay, it can be the
Or
same.
they could work together.
Right. Or it could be two different companies working together. So a lot of times we do that. For example, Chicago Title, I think they have their own escrow and title. If you wanted to go that way. Now, before we get into that, who decides on which escrow company to use?
It's usually the buyer that decides on the escrow company.
It's negotiable.
But yeah, it is negotiable.
It's negotiable, right? So, so you can ask for it as a buyer. You can say, I want the escrow company to be such and such company.
Yeah.
And then you write in the offer. Now the seller could counter that and say, no, I want to use this company. So essentially, the buyer and seller have to come to some agreement saying, hey, this is the escrow company we're going to use. So so it's negotiable, just like so many other terms in a contract.
Everything's negotiable.
Right. Everything's negotiable. So so you decide in the contract, you have the escrow company, you've opened escrow. Now you want to make sure, so during the whole process, one of the steps is to make sure that that you have clear title. So that's where the title company comes in.
Yeah.
And so
Title company makes sure there's no liens on the property. Make sure there's no mechanical liens. Anything nothing that's gonna prevent you from if you ever wanted to refinance a house or sell that house, that you have any additional liens on that house besides your mortgage that you're getting.
Right, and then it's different from a normal insurance company where you get insurance for your car. You're yourself from a future event. In this case, you're protecting yourself from something that might have happened in the past. So, for example, you're buying this house, and you don't know perhaps if the seller had a lawsuit in the past. Maybe it could be a contractor.
Well, that's happened to me recently.
Really?
In one of the houses I bought out in Kansas. Yeah, I sold it, and they came back to me saying I owe $70,000. I said, "Whoa, what do you mean I owe $70,000?" Said, "Well, you had back owed taxes or something, and it was $70,000."
Okay.
And I'm like, "No." I said, "You better go back to your title insurance." I said, "Because here's the title company I bought it from."
Right.
I said, they did the title insurance. You better go back and check because I don't know anything.
See, and that's precisely what entitled insurance insures you for. Okay. It could be prior taxes.
And it was their mistake as well, so they had to pay that.
Right. So, so a title company is going to run a title search. It's going to look at the history of that property and the ownership of that property. So now, not everything will always be covered, even though the title company did that. I mean, most of the time it is, but I mean, it could be something that somebody comes and says, "Well, I have a claim to this property that was perhaps it wasn't recorded, but." That's their fault that they didn't record it. If they didn't record it, it's not a very strong claim.
Yeah.
But lawsuits and things like that. So title company makes sure that there's no, like he said, no liens, no encumbrances and whatnot, and make sure that you get clear title to the house.
Yeah. So always get title insurance.
Always. Now, and then that insurance will cover through the life until you
sell it.
Till you own the property,
or you refinance it,
or even if
you use title insurance,
right? Or if you don't ever sell it, it'll cover your heirs, right? Now, interesting thing is, do you have to have title insurance? Now, there's two types of title insurance. There's lenders. If there's a mortgage on the property, you as a buyer getting a loan, then the lender's going to require their own title insurance, which only covers up to the mortgage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you should get the owner's title insurance, which covers up to the purchase price of the house at that time. And so one distinction I do want to make, since we are in California, and is that, so who pays for that owner's title policy? In Southern California, it's become customary for the seller to pay it. In Northern California, it's become customary for the buyer to pay it. However, it's negotiable. Right? I knew you were going to say that. It's negotiable, so you could just negotiate it. But back to what I was trying to get to is it required by law to have title insurance? Right. It's not.
Not required by law to have title insurance.
But as a practical matter, if you have an escrow company involved, an escrow company sees that buyer is not getting title insurance, they're going to say, we're not involved in this transaction.
Yeah. Well, they're going to back out.
They're going to back out.
That's their reputation, their liability,
So, if you're going to use an escrow company, I mean, they're going to say, hey, you either do that, or we're out of this. Now, if it's a cash transaction, I'm Alfred's uncle, he's my nephew, and I say, hey, I got a great property here. You want to write me a check?
Sure.
Right? And then,
but you still want to get that title insurance.
Right. So, but see, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it is a very prudent thing to do. You should get it. It protects you. Just because he's your uncle, and you never know. I mean, he might have.
And you still want escrow and title. What happens if he gives me the money, but for whatever reason I don't close on that deal? Well, now he gave me the money. Well, now I'm skipping town because hey, he just gave me $500,000. I'm out of here.
Right.
So you always want that escrow, in place, because again, he's going to give that money to escrow.
Right.
And then escrow's in charge of releasing that money.
Right. Exactly. So the escrow is going to handle that money. He's going to make sure it goes to the right place. And so when you're not having an escrow company, these are the things that could happen. One guy could run. You possibly not have clear title. So it's a good thing to have. So there you have it. Short and sweet. Escrow and title are important. Now, escrow is in California. We use escrow companies in California and other states. It's an
majority of states that I've worked and used Escrow. There are, I think, Connecticut and a couple. I think Connecticut's the only state that I know that uses attorneys.
There are other states. I think
yeah.
Texas does. They use. I think
Escrow. Texas uses Escrow.
is it okay?
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a few other states. I can't remember which ones they are.
Yeah.
So, I hope you folks enjoyed our video today. I hope you learned something, and if you do, please
Like our page.
give us a thumbs up.
And if you have any questions, put something in the
comments
comments
down there.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our channel, and we will see you folks
Next
on
time.
the next video. All right. Take care.